Silver is crashing, right in the middle of a global crisis. Tensions involving Iran are escalating. Oil markets are unstable, and investors are on edge. In times like this, money is supposed to run into safety. Gold, silver, real assets. But that's not what's happening. Instead, silver is falling. And that shouldn't make sense, because behind the scenes, the shortage is getting worse. This is the kind of setup that confuses most people, but for those paying attention, it could be one of the biggest opportunities quietly building. Right now, the world feels unstable. The situation around Iran is creating ripple effects across the global economy. Oil prices spike, then pull back. Markets react instantly. Fear rises, then fades. And investors are caught in the middle. In the past, moments like this would trigger a surge into precious metals. Because when uncertainty rises, people look for something real, something they can trust. But today, the reaction is different. Here's the contradiction. We have rising geopolitical tension. We have economic uncertainty. We have instability in energy markets. And yet, silver is going down. To most people, that signals weakness. But in reality, it signals confusion. Because price doesn't always reflect truth. Now let's look beneath the surface. The silver market has been running a deficit for years. That means, every year, more silver is consumed than is actually produced. And this isn't a small imbalance. It's a growing structural issue. Mining output is struggling to keep up. New discoveries are becoming rare, and recycling can't close the gap. Over time, this creates pressure, invisible at first, but powerful. At the same time, demand isn't slowing down. It's accelerating. Silver is no longer just a store of value. It's become essential to modern life. Used in solar panels powering the energy transition, electric vehicles shaping the future of transport, advanced electronics, and AI systems. Countries like China are consuming massive amounts to fuel this growth. This isn't optional demand, it's required. And that's what makes this different from the past. So if the fundamentals are strong, why is the price falling? Because silver doesn't trade purely on physical supply. It trades in a global financial system, where price is influenced by the strength of the US dollar, interest rates, short-term investor sentiment, and paper trading markets. And right now, the Iran conflict is pushing capital into liquidity. Investors are reacting quickly, selling assets, moving to cash, waiting for clarity. This creates downward pressure, even if nothing has changed physically. Now here's something subtle, but important. Countries like Germany have started reducing the silver content in coins. Think about that. They're using less silver because it's becoming more valuable and harder to source. That's not a surface-level change. That's a signal. So step back. Look at everything together. A global conflict involving Iran, a tightening supply of silver, exploding industrial demand, governments adjusting behavior, and a falling price. That combination is rare, and it doesn't last forever, because eventually, fundamentals take control. Most people react to price. They see red and assume something is wrong. But real understanding comes from looking deeper, because markets don't move in straight lines. They move in cycles. And in moments of confusion, opportunities are often created. Right now, silver sits at the center of one of those moments, a metal with rising demand, limited supply, and a price that doesn't reflect either. And that's why silver might be one of the most misunderstood assets in the world today. Because what you're seeing on the surface isn't the full picture. Price is just noise. Short-term reactions, emotional decisions, headlines moving faster than reality. But underneath all of that, something much bigger is unfolding. A slow tightening of supply, a steady increase in demand, and a growing dependence on silver in the systems that power the modern world. Energy, technology, infrastructure. These aren't trends. They're foundations. And silver sits right at the center of all of them. Most people will miss this moment. They'll focus on the price drop. They'll assume weakness. They'll wait for confirmation when everything already feels safe again. But by then, the opportunity is usually gone, because markets don't reward comfort. They reward awareness. This is where the difference is made. Not when everything is obvious, but when things feel uncertain, when the signals don't seem to match, when the story doesn't quite make sense. That's when you have to step back and ask a better question. Not, what is the price doing? But, what is actually happening? Because if you follow price alone, you'll always be reacting. But if you understand fundamentals, you start to anticipate. And that's where control comes from, because by the time it's obvious, it's already too late.